Hey, my name is Dori, and I'm known as the Autoimmune Geek. And I would love to tell you my healing story today because I know it's going to give you hope. There is so much more that you can do for your health. And when you hear my story, I think it's going to really make a powerful difference in your life today. Well, I started off my career as an immunotoxicologist. So that's someone who studies the effects of toxins on the immune system. And my specialty was autoimmune disease. And so here I was, I'm this, typical type A control freak woman that is, just raring to go for her career. And so, I did my bachelor's degree in immunology and microbiology, and then I did my master's degree in immunotoxicology. And then I went on to do my PhD work at the National Institutes of Environmental Health Sciences. And I did this specifically in human autoimmunity. And that was my big PhD fellowship at the NIEHS. And, so here I am, I'm just gung ho, go, 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 go. And I'm working at the same time while I'm getting my PhD and I'm raising my daughter at the same time. And right? The typical superwoman thing. And what wound up happening to me, and I absolutely believe that this is totally a God thing. It was meant to happen this way. That what happened is here I am studying autoimmune disease, and then I came down with my own autoimmune disease. And within about 3 years, I was diagnosed with 7 very severe autoimmune diseases. So it started with scleroderma. And then, of course, they tagged in the fibromyalgia, severe fibromyalgia with that, of course, because it's the catch-all, right? And then it became lupus, and then it became arthritis, and right, and then it's Crohn's, and then it's Hashimoto's, and then Addison's disease, right? Boom, 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 boom. I just got all of these diagnoses so quickly, and I just really felt like, wow, here I am. I'm trained in autoimmunity at the PhD level, and everyone's telling me that too bad, so sad. You've probably got 10 years to live if you're lucky. Better get your life in order. You're not going to be able to continue being a scientist very much longer. You're going to have to go out on disability. My whole life completely changed, just turned right upside down. And sadly, before long, my own husband couldn't take the pressure either. And within a couple of years, he left the family. And so there I was. I was alone. I was taking care of my daughter, who also has very severe health problems, and my granddaughter. And there I was, sick. And I just felt at the time, because I was so brainwashed in conventional medicine, I thought, well, once you learn everything at the PhD level, you know it all, right? And if everyone's saying that you're screwed and there's nothing else you can do, might as well just accept it. You're screwed. So that was my mindset at the time. And of course, I did everything that conventional medicine told me to do. I took all my medications. I was on a cocktail of anywhere between 12 and 20 different medications a day. And okay, they kept me going, but they were literally making me worse as time went on. And I didn't realize that. I just felt like this is the way it is. What else can you do? Right? That was my conventional mindset, the way I was trained. And so I actually languished for 14 years before I found a way out of that. And mind you, if I hadn't found a way out, I'd be dead right now. So the bottom line that you want to hear is, how did I find my way out? And it's a little bit of a long story, but I'm going to try to condense it for you. What happened to me was I was in the middle of the worst flare I'd ever been in my life. And I'd been through some pretty severe flares. I had been in and out of the hospital many times. This was the worst. And I honestly thought maybe this was the end. And I had gotten up to go to the bathroom. And as I was walking back to my bedroom, I collapsed. And as I collapsed, and there I was, it's this whole big dramatic scene. I'm laying on the floor and I'm crying out to God. And I'm saying, Lord, please don't take me yet. I'm still raising my granddaughter and I'm all she's got. And then I just, in the moment of, all the dramatics, I just yelled out to the Lord. I just said, Lord, I'm a scientist, for crying out loud. Please, if there's anything that I've missed, please show me. And he did. He did. He honestly, and I still get like chills every time I talk about it because he really did. It took me a few minutes to get up off the floor and get into the bed. And when I did, on the TV screen was a video and it said scleroderma and functional medicine. And right away I went, come on. That's just a bunch of, woo-woo stuff, all that natural stuff. I'm way beyond that. I'm way too sick for that. No, that's just a bunch of hooey. And I literally passed it by and I was, clicking through the channels. And for about an hour after that, I kept just little, Dori, go back, watch that video. Go back, watch that video. Go back. And I finally said out loud, okay, Lord, you really want me to watch this video? Okay, I will. There I am laying in the bed by myself, it's kind of silly, but that's really how it happened. And I watched the video and it was filled with everything that a conventional, arrogant scientist needed to see in order to start my brain changing in a different direction, right? In order to start my brain moving in a different direction and saying, maybe there is other science that you haven't been taught yet. Maybe there is something more that you can do. And right away, within the first 10 minutes of watching this video, I realized, oh my gosh, the Lord just answered my prayer. But then, of course, right after that, I started feeling the fear. But I'm way too far gone for this, but it probably won't work for me. But, maybe this will work for somebody else who's in the beginning of their disease process, but not for someone like me. But I still felt like, okay, if there is some good, logical, real science out there that can help me feel better and buy me some years, I would be a fool not to check into this. And so that's what I did. And for about the next 2 months, I just launched into a full meta-analysis of all the science that's out there, not just the conventional science that I was taught, but everything from around the world and how people are actually being able to turn their cellular and genetic health around at the mitochondrial level. Okay. And what I found was amazing. Tons of science that I was never taught, tons of nutritional science, the science of nutrigenomics, how food affects your genetic expression, the science of epigenetics, how we can change the way our genes express from moment to moment, the science of cellular regeneration and how to literally recreate our cells so that they are healthier, they're stronger, they've got more of everything that they need in order to do their function. The science of mitochondrial bioenergetics. I mean, I'm reading about all this stuff and I'm just getting excited, more excited, and thinking, okay, obviously the Lord has given me something new here. My geek scientific brain just started getting all just, really super excited about this. And in the midst of my illness, in the midst of my severe brain fog and all of the symptoms that I was still feeling and all of that, tons of medication that I was on, I got busy and I started doing the work that I needed to do in order to get well. And very long story short, at least shorter, it took about 2 years to get my health back to a place where I knew I was not that same sick woman that I had become while I was suffering from my diseases. I spent 14 years in disability. And that's a long time. That'll mess up your brain right there. That'll mess up your mindset. I spent 14 years there. It took me about 2 years to come out of it. Maybe another year on top of that to really get just, wow, amazingly healthy. And, to be honest, I'm still not perfect, right? Nobody is. My rheumatologist considers me 95% healed. Most of my biomarkers have not only come back to normal, but they're optimal, and they can no longer diagnose me with even one autoimmune disease. No more fatty liver, no more scleroderma. I don't have the antibodies for it anymore. I don't have the symptoms anymore. My inflammation has come down dramatically. So most of my toxic factors have been removed. My gut is mostly healed. My cellular deficiencies are corrected. And my neurochemicals are back to normal again, actually optimal. So I feel happy, I feel positive, I feel energized and motivated every day. I love getting up every day and just running into the office and helping people. Because, once you've gone through a healing journey like this, nothing can shut you up now, right? You become a little evangelist for the new science and what people actually can achieve. And it's so exciting. It's so much fun to learn what you can do to be the CEO of your own health and no longer be scared of your symptoms, no longer be worried about every little thing that's happening in your body because you have the knowledge now. And so that's what I do. This is obviously the work that the Lord has given me to do, not only as a scientist, but just as a person who was created by God to go out into the world and do amazing good things for others, right? To love others, to help people in whatever way that we can. That is my purpose for living. And I just happen to be able to love people through healing physically. So there's another part of my story that is not just the physical healing. It's a very spiritual and emotional side of my journey. And I actually had something just very weird happen. When I tell this part of my story, some people just don't believe it. Some people just think, whatever. But I'm just telling you the truth. This is just how it happened. I was at about the 2-year mark of my healing journey. And at this point, I was amazingly better. I was feeling like a brand new woman. I had lost 100 pounds. I was off of all of those 20 different pharmaceutical medications. I felt great. And I hadn't yet started the ministry here yet. And I was just, sitting in my chair one morning and I'm praying. And when I pray, I write in a prayer journal because I'm a little bit ADHD and, so I need to write in order to keep my brain from flipping off in 100 different, in 100 different places. And so I'm writing And I'm so glad I did, because now I have that to look back to. And I'm writing, and I'm reflecting back on all those years of illness and all the trauma that it caused, the emotional upheavals, the in and out of the hospital, the trauma that it caused everyone around me, the trauma that it caused me, the PTSD that it caused, the emotions of knowing that you have this brain that God gave you, and you've got $200,000 worth of education behind you, but you can't use it because you're too sick. And that feeling of just feeling like you have no purpose all those years, you're just sitting and you're sick and you're just languishing and you're not really living up to your full potential. That was worse than any of the physical symptoms that I ever suffered. And so I was reflecting on that. And then my thoughts went to, and what about Jana? That's my granddaughter. What about all the trauma that she was caused from this illness? And I honestly believe that I was being just a little bit of a spoiled, rotten brat in that moment while I was talking to God. And I literally said to him, I said, oh, this is so unfair. Lord, if you were just going to teach me how to heal anyway, why did you let it wait for 14 years? Why didn't you teach me how to do this in the beginning? Why all this suffering? And in that split moment right there, and I know this is weird, but what happened to me next, I felt like it was like the Lord literally answering me in such a way. It was so powerful. It was so overwhelming. It felt like someone just gave me a boom, downloaded a ton of information all at once into my head. And from that one moment of me being all one split second, I was on the floor. It all happened so fast. I didn't even have time to process it until later. I went from being that way to being on the floor, bawling. I mean, the ugly cry. I mean, the, type of crying on the floor, just telling the Lord, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, I understand. I'm your servant. Okay, whatever you want. Okay, here I am, whatever. Just take my life, do whatever you want to do with it. And I'm so sorry. And the bottom line of what he downloaded was, it was meant to be that way, right? He created me as this weird little geek kid that had to know all the tiny little molecular details of everything. He put me through college. He guided me that way. He gave me all that scientific training. He prepared me, and then he allowed me to be sick. And he allowed me to go through that horrible suffering for all those years. But why? So that I could come out on the other side and really have not only the head knowledge, but the heart knowledge and the compassion, the deep knowledge of what it takes to walk through a journey like that and then come out on the other side mostly healed, and to be able to then take that knowledge and to help other people with it. And I'll tell you, ever since that moment, I've been full speed ahead. My whole life is just completely different. And I know without a doubt that I am doing right now by talking to you on this video. And it doesn't matter whether you ever pay me a dime or come work with me. None of that really matters. What really matters is that you hear the truth, that you are not stuck with whatever illness you've got. That most likely, if you're suffering from any of the number of different autoimmune diseases or chronic illnesses or heart disease or even cancer, even Alzheimer's, even autism, There are things that you can do. There are scientific, evidence-based, proven things that you can do to feel so much better. And you might get 50% better, you might get 80% better, you might get 95% better like me. But you can do something about this. You are not just stuck. You don't have to be the victim of the illness. You can take control. You can be the CEO of your own health. You can learn new things that you can practice every day. And it's not that hard. Yes, you will have to make some changes. That's true. And it's not a quick fix. And there are things that you need to do, that you need to learn how to do, and you need to incorporate into your life. But, anybody can do this, really. Anybody can. And your life can be so much better. And the most important thing is that you realize who you are, that God created you to be an amazing, unique person to do amazing work in the world. And if you're stuck in a mindset of illness and victimhood, you will be limited in some way from doing that work that the Lord created you to do. And we don't want you there, right? We want you in a place where you're thriving as much as you possibly can. And look, if someone like me with 7 autoimmune diseases, and very severe ones too, deadly ones, okay, like lupus and scleroderma, okay, these things kill people. And I was 54 when I first started healing. I wasn't a young spring chicken. And yet, look what I was able to do. I was able to almost completely turn it around, completely change my life. And now I am living in my God-created purpose. And that's what I want for you. That's why I tell my story. That's why I'm still alive today, to let you know that you can do so much more. And so I hope that by me sharing today, that I've given you powerful strength. I want you to move forward with your life with more knowledge. If you'd like to come work with us here, we're at the Center for Cellular Healing and Longevity, and you can get in touch with us by calling 760-460-4349. And thank you for listening today, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.